Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to Sexy Nerd Science Season 3, Episode 14.
Welcome to Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
All right, we got a great show for you lined up here. Dale, how was your weekend?
I had a fantastic 4-day weekend. Thanks for asking. We have a place around here called the Greenfield Village. It's a place for old-timey learning. And it opened this weekend, and I was there both Saturday and Sunday.
Old-timey learning.
Old-timey learning.
What, do they just do, how to churn butter and...
Actually, they don't do churning butter at all, which is funny.
How to churn butter, how to wire a Edison light bulb.
Yeah, they do. Actually, the Edison light bulb. Josh, you're getting all these wrong.
They don't teach you how to wire an Edison light bulb.
They teach you how to wire. They teach you all about how he vacuumed the electric light bulb. The Edison plant in the.
They show you. We went to the Edison tour.
Yes.
And I got all grumpy and shit.
He said that this is a whole new thing, though.
No, it's not a whole new thing.
No, it's just they open it up.
No, it's just opened up for the year.
It's like an amusement park.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's only opened in the
shittiest amusement park.
Shut up! It's not the shittiest.
It's like that. They have like an electronic tumbleweed that rolls through.
No,
it's fun. I like Greenfield Village.
Go
but
fuck yourself, Josh.
When I say it's like an amusement park, insofar as amusement parks are only open for like part of the year when it's kind of nice weather out.
So
there are rides, there are food. I mean, it's just like an amusement park.
The fastest thing's a Model T.
Yeah, I would say that. That's not wrong. Or the cannons they blast off, maybe.
Maybe. Any other things that they do?
I like the glass blowing.
Yeah, they do glass blowing. They do the tin shop.
That's
weaving. They have you can ride on a train. You can ride on a bus, a horse and carriage. You can eat food made back in the day. You can eat food nowadays.
What is your favorite thing that they do there?
Train. Yeah, I like to ride the train.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it a full-size train?
Yes, they actually have two locomotives. They have the Torch Lake and the Edison. They actually have a new one called the Baldwin, too. That was actually Henry Ford's personal train. And if you ever come here, Drew, you can ride it all week long. Just come in the summertime.
I am trying for that one weekend. I found out at work, and I'll tell you guys this later, but I might be able to make it work if I can.
Dale would be so happy.
You have no idea.
Both of us to Greenfield Village.
We would like document it on SexyNerdScience the entire day.
It would have to be something like I find out when Josh leaves, and then just tag along, just me, and take that week.
That's fantastic.
So we'll talk about it after the podcast. Josh, your weekend? I assume work from our
work from sunup to sundown. No, I actually on Saturday, we'll get to this in Science-y news, but I had my high altitude balloon launch. That was a longer tongue twister than it usually is.
That was a balloon full of words.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, is it
a real gas?
Yeah, full of them. All right, cool. Well, we'll get to that later. We'll start off here, as always, with a little bit of sexy news. As everybody knows, Planet Comicon is coming up in... What are you laughing at?
The second thing we're talking about as sexy news, like, it's just funny. Let's talk about Planet Comicon first.
All right,
and
so
then I want to introduce the next thing.
Yeah, okay. So as of recording this, it is literally 10 days, 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds till Planet Comicon 2017 commences. If those of you who do not know, we did reserve a booth. We will be in booth number 2224 as of now. That has a potential to change just because that those things do happen. But right now, we are in booth 2224, hoping that that's closer to the celebrity row. If not, it'll change and we'll figure it out.
I
But
want to be close
additionally,
to Iggy.
yeah. Well, I think, like I said, in the map, I think we are closer to Artist Alley. Hopefully, we're close to Iggy. We will be setting up as soon as possible, most likely Friday morning. But on top of that, we do have our shirt, our Teespring campaign that is going to be starting as of recording for the new shirts that you'll be available to purchase while we're at Planet Comicon. And then our previous campaign has ended on the.
Hold on, we have to stop for a second.
What?
Because we don't have any image for that shirt yet. So
I thought we were doing the basic wording that you guys talked about before.
No, if we just do the basic thing, which is fine. But I know we will have a shirt for Planet Comicon.
Yeah, I got sexy, I got nerdy, I got sciencey at Planet Comicon 2017. I thought those were for sure's.
Oh, I don't know.
And it was just going to be basic, like fancy-ish wording on the back.
I think there's more discussion that needs to be made.
I mean, as far as like the legality of it?
No, just design, legality, a bunch of other stuff. I don't think nothing's in stone right now.
Never mind. That's not. Okay.
But there will be a shirt, for shirt for Planet Comicon. Just we don't know if it'll be how soon before before Planet Comicon will be available.
I thought that was a given. Those three.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
I like the ideas, but we just got to work out the logistics before we.
Yeah, say for
so
sure.
We're teasing the idea.
Pick a
right
sexy shirt, pick a nerdy, pick a sexy font, pick a nerdy font, pick a sciencey font, and we'll go with those.
That could be our question of this week.
What is the sexiest font?
Yeah, what font does each one need to be?
I think nerdy should be what is that?
Comic Sans.
No, I think nerdy should be Wingdings.
Wingdings.
Yeah, it's like all the random characters.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it literally you wouldn't be able to tell it said I got nerdy yet. It's just like a bunch of characters, hieroglyphics, basically.
Oh, dang.
Anyway, our previous Teespring campaign did end last Friday, and so those will be shipping. They should be to you prior to you leaving for Planet Comicon, and we will have. Do we want to talk about that, or are you just holding that up to be fun?
I'm just holding it up because I don't have my shirt on.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm holding my SexyNerdScience sticker up.
So we're leaving the tabletop stuff for surprise, right?
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that. Okay,
nope,
perfect.
Not yet.
Just wanted to make sure. All right. So, but yeah, Planet Comicon 2017. You guys will catch us there. A couple of us will probably cosplay once or twice, I'm sure. We got a couple quote unquote booth babes who will be hanging around in cosplay.
We have 0 booth babes. What are you talking about?
I mean,
it was a joke, Drew. It was a joke.
I was rebuttaling. Me and Josh are booth babes.
Oh, there you go.
And then and then we'll have Dale, who will just be walking around shirtless.
What's that movie that's with the guy with the kids and they're trying to find a treasure? Gremlins or
no, wait,
Goonies.
Goonies, yeah, that's what it is.
You're gonna do the truffle shuffle.
I'm gonna be the guy that's like
Sloth or Chunk.
The guy, the messed up guy.
Sloth.
It looks like
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
I thought he was gonna do the truffle shuffle like Chunk.
I actually haven't seen that movie in literally
Watch
years.
it and then get the truffle shuffle down and then just do it for $1.
Just sell my body.
$1.
We'll have a jar, the truffle shuffle for $1. Anyway, so on to some more sexy news.
On to sexy news that we just had to deem sexy. North Korea I just think this is so funny. No, they've been in the news a lot lately. And me and Dale were kind of talking about North Korea. If you guys haven't had the chance, definitely check out the People's Republic of North Korea, the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea, or of Korea, and check out their webpage because it is crazy. Like, there's what we know about Korea, and then there's what the website tells you about Korea. And
based on the website, I'd rather live in North Korea.
I mean, they make it sound glorious.
How nice they treat their citizens.
You're a citizen at 17. You can vote. You have freedom of speech, expression. Feel free to submit your comments to the federal government on what you'd like and dislike, and they'll make sure to respond to you, and not with bullets. So
is that what it says? Not with bullets?
No, but like they're like, oh, we love to hear criticism from our people. Like, if you have any, like, please submit them. Like, I was just like, oh, okay, cool.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. But so what brought this on was the fact that North Korea wants to bomb everybody. And Dale came across a BBC page where they were talking about the Tipagong 2 missile and how that has a range of anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000 kilometers. And with that, they would put things like Alaska in striking distance, China, India, Japan for sure.
So they have, it shows this specific graph shows 4 North Korean missile ranges. One of which is the Nodong, which has a 1,300 kilometer range, which gets them to about Japan.
1,300 kilometers is pretty good for Nodong.
That was a good
one.
Well,
these are all like based on, like, all these figures are based on what their technology level's at, because right now they currently haven't had a successful launch in 2013, I think. Okay. I don't know the exact.
They haven't had one make it anywhere close to Japan.
Yeah.
And so Japan's pretty close.
But I think it's also the weight plus the technology.
Yeah. So and then their second best is the Tipadong 1, which is the predecessor to the Tipadong 2, which Josh was talking about earlier, and that gets about 2,000 kilometers. That gets them to mid-China, in the mid-China range.
China. I didn't even need to like be unmuted, and everyone knew exactly. China.
Gets them to like mid-China, and then the Musudan gets us.
We're not saying any of these right. Just probably.
I don't know.
I think the Tipagong is actually the one that we're actually. Yeah, I know Pyongyang like that. I can pronounce that one.
That's because we've heard it. We haven't read it. If you read it the first time, never heard it.
I know General Tso's chicken.
I think that's
racist.
No, it's racist. Whichever. I know crab rangoon.
No Chinese in that at all.
Well, there's crab.
Ragoon Toridas.
And then, so back to what I was doing. The Masudan, whichever, however you want to say it, is I got a 4,000 kilometer range, and that gets you a good way into Russia, almost to the outskirts of India, and then to New Guinea, and just to a couple of those outlying islands of.
It's like a geography test.
Do you remember all your states, Drew? A lot of information here.
Well, I'm pretty good with geography, so I'm just going to keep going with this.
Keep going on. We'll wait.
New Guinea does kind of look like a guinea pig.
Anyway, and then, like Josh was saying, the Tipadong 2 has double the range and gets us into Alaska, almost any point in Iceland or any point in Greenland, and then a little bit of Canada, and then that can almost that's getting us to the outskirts of Africa.
And that's just the tip of the dong.
That's just the tip of the dong.
Yeah, but any other missiles from any other country can go anywhere in the world. So I think we're fine as far as, one, retaliation, two, their nuclear capabilities are non-existent, and their largest bombs, that's the issue they're having, is being able to launch it with the technology they have. But even if they were to launch a successful attack on anything, the largest one they have is 20 to 30 kilotons, which is around a Fat Boy size weaponry for the.
What's the size of for that?
21 kilotons.
Yeah.
I think it was. We looked up.
No, but like, what's the radius of impact?
It's only a few miles.
Tiny, very, very tiny.
Yeah, so Fat Boy and Little Boy, Fat Man and Little Boy were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Fat Boy was the plutonium-239 fission bomb.
And Little Boy was uranium-235.
238.
238.
Yeah, so it's
I'm
literally
gonna
just
challenge you with
one
that
more.
one.
It's 238.
I'm going to challenge you with that.
Uranium itself is 235, but the radioactive uranium that they put inside, like the nuke, was 238.
Very well could be, but
Pretty
I'm
sure.
still gonna challenge
And then plutonium's just one more away.
Regardless of that, I have one question.
Sheet guys, fire our sheet.
Do you guys think that, we're thinking about it in terms of dogs, that North Korea's then just the tiny little, like, Chihuahua barking big to sound?
This is probably going to get me nuked, but no, I would say North Korea is the tiny little flea on the tiny little dog, thinking that they are in control.
Fair enough. I'll take that.
I did a balloon launch this week that went 76 miles. I can fairly accurately, we could do a balloon launch, and they could probably drop a bomb on Japan with a high altitude.
They had balloon or hot air balloons in the Civil War. If you didn't know. Civil War. If you didn't know that. Also, you're wrong. Uranium-235 was in the Little Boy. However, uranium-238 is in common.
It's the one that we use now.
Nuclear power plants.
Oh, really?
That's
uranium-238?
That's what Wikipedia is telling me.
I was going to say, I want a source cited.
Yeah, that is the Wikipedia. But
Wikipedia is actually pretty good for nuclear physics.
Well, what I also did was I just looked up.
Nobody wants to continuously change on and off. It's pretty good about.
Well, I looked up what's it called? I looked up the word Little Boy in 238 and 235, and it came up a few times in 235. So, just FYI.
Yeah, if you want to know about Justin Bieber or all the things he's up to, that's going to be completely terrible for Wikipedia. But if you want to learn about something that nobody cares about, Wikipedia is great because one person cared about it enough to put it on Wikipedia.
Oh, that's cool. They have like a little graph of shows like the 235, 238, all this stuff as far as like where everything launches and whatnot.
So it's just, okay, yeah, uranium's atomic number is 238. That's where I got uranium-238 from. 235 is the visible uranium. I just had to Google it. Thank you, periodic table.
I have lots of freaking like acid in my tummy right now. I had pop, and it is not fun.
Yeah, don't drink pop.
You think it's that easy? It's like smoking a cigarette. It's like
I don't drink pop.
What?
I don't drink pop.
Okay.
Just tea.
But it's like drinking pop for me is like smoking a cigarette. You just have to have the I took a little bit, and I'm just like, I need more.
I guess I had a 7-Up like 2 weeks ago.
Speaking of teas,
yesterday. What am I talking about?
Speaking of teas, let's talk about our next topic from our favorite tea company.
Anybody doing any
Tyson Chicken
on this?
Tyson Chicken?
Tesla?
Who's far superior to Edison in every way.
Did he? Okay, I disagree with that.
Yeah, with the exception of how much money he
I was
actually
going to
had.
say right there. That's
And success and
plus he didn't invent wireless electricity. If he did, we would have it now. We have an issue.
we do.
We have wireless electricity, and not the way that Tesla wants to do it. I'm going to write that down for topics for next week.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about Nikola Tesla for the first time in one of these podcasts.
Okay.
But right now we're talking about Tesla Motors. What?
Who's doing time?
Dale.
I always do time, and I forgot to, so I didn't do it this week.
Okay. I was just checking. I don't know where we're at. So, anyway, Tesla Model S, 75, overnight price drop.
So Tesla changed the price on. So first of all, the 60 kilowatt model is no longer available through Tesla, and they dropped the price of the 75 kilowatt model to $69,500, which
What was it at before?
like 72, I think, something like that. It wasn't too much, like $3,000 price drop, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a $7,500 price drop.
Really?
Yeah, I think
for
it was
the 75 regular.
Yeah,
because I know you could get the 60 kilowatt, and then you could pay like $3,500 to have it like boosted to the 75 kilowatt, like software unlocked.
I don't know. It's just telling me.
And now it's only $500.
It told me $7,500 difference from what it was. As an overnight price drop.
But yeah, so if you're looking to buy a cheaper Tesla, 75 kilowatts, that'll get you about 270 miles of range.
So how's that comparable to yours? You get what, 189?
I'm 15 kilowatts less than that. I get 205 miles of range. Yeah. But on average, I can get about 220 if I tried.
If you didn't run the AC and didn't have,
I don't know. I can like draft a truck and get great fuel economy.
Yeah.
Probably get me closer to 270.
Let's do that.
Yeah, that's not dangerous at all.
Yeah, it's like something they do in the Fast and the Furious movies.
There it is. But, on a fateful day, we could make it work.
Why don't you tell us about the fate of the Furious, Drew?
I will.
In nerdy news.
Fate of the Furious. Today in nerdy news. Explosion, fast cars, wreckings. Kapow.
Bald people.
Bald people. Driving fast makes you bald. I saw that. Dale, do you drive fast?
No.
Oh. Sorry.
I followed, I have a woman at work that tells me nonstop, you guys should use the Waze app. It tells you where all the cops are. I'm like, why do I need to know where the cops are? Well, for when you're speeding, you need to slow down. I don't speed, so I don't need to know where the cops are at.
Sorry that you don't have an explanation for your baldness then.
I shaved my head. What are you talking about? You can literally see my receding hairline.
Peak.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's actually not that. It doesn't look that bad though. I mean, I would be interested to see Dale with hair.
We can measure this. Measure my from my eyebrow to my forehead. It's like 2.5 inches.
Mine's 2.5 inches.
Measure it.
I don't have a measuring tape close. Oh yes, I do. No, I'm just kidding. I've got my hero clicks out on the table. You guys see them?
What's a hero click?
Dale, for shame.
You guys every week have to teach me something that I do not know the answers to.
So, 1 second.
Oh, by the way, I did look up the truffle shuffle. I'll do that.
Yes.
I will definitely do the truffle shuffle. Yeah. I know we kind of got off topic, and I kind of wanted to mix between what Drew's doing right now, looking up the hero click stuff, to what the fate of the Furious. I have actually never seen any of the Fast and Furious movies after the one after Tokyo Drift. So number 4, I think I saw. That was the last one.
Well, I've seen all of them, and it's one of my more fun franchises, in my opinion, that I like to watch. It is ridiculous and over the top and downright unnecessary at times, but it's almost at the point where the Expendable movies where, I mean, it set a box office record. It literally set a box office record. Dale,
What record?
I don't know. Look it up, though.
Because, I mean, it didn't break what was the movie? Star Wars, did it?
I don't remember. It's a record, or it did like a very large number, more than people thought. Anyway, I'm going to tell you about how crazy it was. Spoiler alert. It was cool.
That was not a spoiler alert.
Tom dies. Spoiler alert. I love spoilers. Spoiler. No, it was a good movie. Turned out great. If you ever wanted to see Jason Statham do a fighting scene with a baby in his arms,
I was so disappointed. You're like, see Jason Statham do a fighting scene with a baby. Pause. And then in his arms, I was like, dang it.
Jason Statham fights a baby. So that was pretty cool. It was just like, it's over the top and sort of predictable at this point, but it was pretty good. Additionally, Dale, this is a hero click.
They showing me a plastic figurine with a circle on the bottom.
Yes, it's a tabletop game of sorts. You have figures that have different attributes, and you are allotted a specific point value, and each figure has its own point value, and you can either some people do number of figs, so you can do 5 figs any point value, or you can do 500 point value any number of figs, or anything like that. And then it's a gridded tabletop space where they have outlines and stuff where it just, you can or can't go depending on what kind of figure you have. And a lot of them are pretty cool. This one's Deadpool, if you can kind of tell. I know my camera is junky, but it's Deadpool. He's got 2 swords.
Cool.
But I've got a bunch of them, and it's a pretty fun game. And cool. You should play. Anyway,
I just looked up the Fate and the Furious numbers, and it's the 8th most popular film in the Fast and Furious franchise. Oh, the 8th film in the popular Fast and Furious franchise.
Oh my God!
My bad. I didn't read that right. But it did pull in $532 million at the box office for its first weekend, and that beats the global record held by the Star Wars Force Awakening, which is $529 million. So it was about $3 million more.
Boom.
Yeah. That is not the U.S. Numbers, though. That is only
that's global.
Global numbers. So I don't know if it had a bigger audience in other states. Also, Drew, you can hear your background a lot. Just FYI.
Oh, it's because I'm not talking. What was I going to say? There's also nothing going on back here, so I don't know why. But anyway, so you said it did beat Star Wars?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. See, I told you it set a record, or it had a big number.
Well, Trump won too by a pretty good margin. So
Trump,
people just obviously don't know what they want in this world.
Yeah, they're just dum-dums.
Well, how did Trump win again?
By getting more votes in different states.
What kind?
I'm confused what you're asking.
Stupid people votes.
Wait, was it electoral votes or was it?
Maybe they were furious votes.
I'm not trying to get at something. I want to actually know. Were they electoral votes or were they?
Yes, electoral votes.
Oh, yeah. They got more electoral votes.
So a popular vote, somebody else would have won, and we probably would have been equally as fucked, but it doesn't matter because it's not what the people wanted. So what the people want is obviously not what does not represent Trump. So your argument is null and void there.
You know what the people want? Another fucking Star Wars movie.
They do want another Star Wars movie. And guess what we're going to give them?
Another Star Wars movie.
Well, we're not going
for like every single year for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So the trailer for the new Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, came out. Oh my goodness.
It was great. I
It's
loved it.
so sick. It just like everything. You're just like, what? No, why? I want to know more. Tell me more. And it was just good. A lot more dialogue from Mark Hamill in the trailer than there was. There was more dialogue in the trailer than there was from Mark Hamill the entire Force Awakens movie.
I mean,
That's true.
What did he say in the Force Awakens movie?
Intimidating glare.
Yeah, that's
There
it.
was also a hand. Did you bring the hand?
He spoke with his eyes.
Tell me what your eyes tell you. What did you guys think of the trailer?
I didn't quite understand why Kylo Ren was like doing like the I'm gonna tilt my gun sideways thing, but with a lightsaber.
Maybe he was using the Force, or maybe he was stabbing his father again.
Oh my gosh, so mean.
He was like, "I'm gonna turn the blade this time." Yeah, Dale, what'd you think? Did you watch it?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't know when it came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. So good, in fact, that's specifically why I called Marco today. And then additionally, what else was I going to tell you about the trailer? Oh, I have a theory. And it doesn't have to do with Gray Jedi, so I don't want nobody to jump down my throat for that.
Good Gray Jedi are stupid.
But do you think that it's called The Last Jedi because they're going to start a new Jedi thing? Like, not call it Jedi? Like, he's going to be the last Jedi, and then they're going to start, like, a whole new name for Jedi?
So,
maybe.
I honestly think that Jedi being plural, that you're going to find out that Rey and Luke are, in fact, the last two remaining Jedi. So probably maybe that there is, like, they're probably going to, like, introduce, like, a third one or something stupid. The only reason why I'm saying that is because there's a lot more Jedi that are still canon that we don't know quite what happened to, like Ahsoka Tano, Kanan, Ezra, people from like essentially the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. As of right now, they're still alive. So it's kind of a little.
So unless by the time they make the movie, the books or the cartoon series writes them out, they're still.
Yeah, I just think that it's going to give us some time to like introduce a character and make us like have a little more hope, and then it's going to be like kill them, and then like we're going to be like left with just two.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I just and I do understand the plurality of it. I don't know how to say that word. I do understand Jedi is a plural as, you know, geese and geese or moose and moose or moose, whichever.
Goose and geese are the two words that we would use there.
What did I say? That's what I was.
You said geese and geese, but
yeah, and you also said moose and meese.
No, I said moose and moose.
Yeah, moose and moose is okay. Deer and deer are okay. But goose and geese are the two.
Whichever.
I have more questions.
Goose. Hold on. I was going somewhere with that. So, despite my bad analogies or my bad grammar, whichever you want to call it, I do think it's. I personally think it's going to be something where they go, okay, we're not going to. I mean, they're fighting. They're at the point where they don't want, you know, I mean, Luke just hid for how many years?
Is that a question?
That was a question.
Oh, we don't know.
I think it's not very long. It's like 3 or 4.
3 or 4 years that he hid?
Yeah.
No way. He had to hide for like 10-something years.
No,
Yeah.
well, wait. No. Okay. Do you mean like since, like, how many years has it been since A New Hope? Or
no,
how many years has
because he
Luke...
trained Kylo Ren.
Correct. So, and Kylo Ren was like only a few years younger than he was right now when Snoke came over.
I thought to influence somebody like that, you had to be in your teenager, and he seemed like a young adult at that, or an adult at that point. So I would say it had to be like 10 years old, or
Anakin was like 20 years old when he got seduced by the dark side.
I don't know about that. I think he was seduced way before, because he had darkness in his heart at the very beginning.
He was, of course, everybody does.
Yeah, but I'm saying he was seduced back then.
Let's just ask each other, when do you think that Luke trained Kylo?
10 to 15 years.
Huh?
10 to 15 years.
Like before we see the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, and
that's what I think.
Okay. Josh?
I think it's only been a couple of years.
So
he trained Kylo to be
less than 5.
He trained Kylo to be a Jedi the entire time, and then he turned to the dark side, and then Luke left.
Yep.
So he wouldn't have left if Kylo did not turn.
Well, he didn't just turn. He killed all the other Jedi.
Yeah, he betrayed.
And the Knights of Ren also. Well, he either turned them to the Knights of Ren or killed the remaining Jedi.
Okay, so what I'm getting at is then we do think that Luke was around for the point in time when that happened.
He happened while he was there.
Did it?
Yeah, they showed a flashback when it was raining, if you recall, when she touched the lightsaber in the Force Awakens. And you see him killing everybody, and everybody's dead on the ground.
Yeah.
And he's just standing there like, why'd you doing this?
Okay. I hear you. Okay, so then, yeah. I mean, he's been hiding for, 5 or so years, I would assume.
But I had a question. I don't understand how this can be the last Jedi, because the term Jedi to me is maybe an order of some kind.
That's where I'm getting at with this, is that.
Yeah, so if the order disappeared, people can still become Jedi or still be, entranced with the Force, correct?
That's where I'm getting at, is that a Jedi and a Sith are, in my opinion, two made up faces of the Force. You're either a Sith because you're bad, or you're a Jedi because you're good, but the terms only come from the stance you take, in my opinion. And I don't know, Josh is probably the best, the most of the three of us Star Wars nerdy, but in my opinion, it's the stance you take. You're technically one with the Force, and in any sense, if you can, have a connection with the Force. So I'm with Dale on that it's a stance you take. So it's a faction or a moniker, not necessarily the you as a person. Josh?
So, I mean, are we just talking about when someone goes to the dark side then, or?
Well, okay, so do you think that no matter what, if you can you're in touch with the Force, you're a Jedi?
No.
Okay.
There's in canon, there's plenty of beings that are in touch with the Force that are not Jedi or Sith.
Yeah, like the guy, I'm one with the Force is with me.
Right? Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's
technically a Jedi.
A ton of animals too.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just giving an example from the movie we're talking about. That being said, do you think that Jedi and Sith are just monikers and not necessarily, or do you think that a Jedi is a Jedi regardless if they are part Sith?
I think, being a Jedi, it says something. And this is a lot more than what we could talk about in this one podcast. But Ahsoka, I think, does it the best. And this is, I think, where Grey Jedi kind of came from. Ahsoka was trained to be a Jedi Knight, and was a Padawan, and ended up after some, I'm not going to spoil it, but after some stuff happens, she turns her back on the Jedi. And, when she was asked, like, are you a Jedi? She's like, no, I'm not. But she still kind of follows a lot of the teachings of the Jedi, but she considers herself not a Jedi. So like,
she may follow the Jedi code, but she's not a Jedi.
she might follow it in some aspects, but not in all. And then in even Star Wars Rebels, like Kanan Jarrus and Ezra are both. I mean, Kanan was a Padawan when his master was killed during Order 66, and he kind of skates along the outside of like, I was never a formal Jedi master, but I'm kind of a Jedi, but he does his own things. Like, obviously he's in love and married to, I can't remember her name right now, but to the other girl who flies the ghost ship. So, I mean, those aren't things that the Jedi allow to have.
How old would you consider Rey to Kylo Ren?
10 years younger, I think.
They're 10 years younger?
I think so. I was just reading it, actually.
Yeah. I'm seeing on this timeline that
Rey's 29 or 19 going on 20. Kylo Ren's 29 going on 30.
So based on, timeline, I would say your time span was probably closer. Probably 5 years maximum, I would say, about this
says the thing I'm reading here is giving a time frame, like if the events happened when Kylo was like 19 years old, it would give you 10 to 15 years after that when The Force Awakens took place, because that would make Luke 23 going into Return of the Jedi. He'd be 53 now, and he'd be missing since he was 38 to 43.
So it's just like 14 years, I think it says.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too.
But I mean, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I think Kylo was a lot older than 19 years old when he joined the Knights of Ren.
Well, okay. So anyway, where I was getting at with that was, I think that it might just be, in my opinion, The Last Jedi is going to be something like how me and Dale said, that it might be something it's not like a gray Jedi thing, but it's like they not necessarily quit being Jedi, but it's like they rebrand, like, I mean, it's I think it's just a rebranding thing, in my opinion.
Well, because like technically, like Snoke isn't a Sith necessarily, or might not be a Sith. You don't know that. So, I mean, like, it could be the end of the Sith died with Darth Vader, and the end of the Jedi ends with Luke.
Yeah, and that could be.
Yeah.
Because, the Knights we're doing the Knights of Ren then, and it gets you. So, I mean, I it's interesting. We'll definitely talk about it more.
Yeah, let's move on to the next topic.
So, do you want to go?
Well, just quickly, the Star Wars celebration happened, and that's where they launched all the Star Wars trailer and stuff. There was a couple fun videos from that. I encourage you guys to go check out the Star Wars celebration. There was a recreation of the scene from Rogue One where a bunch of people had to get a ticket printed out, and they had to rush it to one of the guys, or actually rush it to Princess Leia on the inside. And they had like Darth Vader tag, and that was funny. But they also had new trailers for season 4 of Star Wars Rebels, which will be coming out. They actually played the first episode of Star Wars Rebels. I just recently caught up on seasons 2 and 3. So I'm all caught up on Star Wars Rebels now. Yeah. And just a bunch of other. Oh, they also had a new video game coming out, Battlefront 2.
Yep.
Is going to take place over all of the Star Wars universe. So you'll be able to recreate battles and play as different characters from A New Hope, or from Phantom Menace all the way to The Force Awakens. Actually, all the way to The Last Jedi. So, be interesting there. Do we want to skip the other nerdy news?
Yeah,
since we're kind of running time.
Since I don't even know where we're at with time, but
we're probably way over.
I think we're at 45.
Okay. Well, Josh, whatever we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, your high altitude balloon launch, you want to wrap that up there?
Yeah, just kind of quickly wanted to just shout out to Metropolitan Community College here in Omaha at the South Campus. We had another high altitude balloon launch. They've done several. This was launch number 56 for them. And I have been a part of maybe like 11 or 12 of them. So I guess I'm pretty good at this. So much so that they asked me during the solar eclipse in August, I'm going to be leading a recovery vehicle for one of the balloon launches. So I'll be able to actually monitor where the balloon lands and go pick it up from when we launch it in Grand Island, because we will be in Grand Island for the eclipse in August. So really excited for that. If you guys want to check out the latest launch, we'll have a link on the website, but you can also check out nearspacescience.com to see all the latest news and when they're going to be doing the next launches. They've got a really good video. They just so happened to have the camera came loose and was facing upwards, looking at the top of the balloon right as the balloon would pop. And I just want to kind of give people some perspective. When we let the balloon go, it was about 8 feet in diameter, 8 to 10 feet in diameter. Just before the balloon popped, it was probably closer to 30 or 40 feet in diameter. There's a little loom, like a little round thing where our parachute was hooked up to. That's about 1.5 feet in diameter. And it's just like a little speck floating in the middle of this balloon. So definitely go to nearspacescience.com, check out the most recent launch, and keep up to date on that stuff. And if you ever want to launch a balloon, get in contact with them.
Very cool.
Cool.
I really enjoyed doing that the last time, so hopefully we can coordinate for the next ones, or the next two. I would assume. The next bit here, Dale, was that you?
Yeah, that was me. So I wanted to kind of get an idea with a few of the newer or like electric cars taking off, the plug-in electric cars. These are the monthly sale records for 2017 for the first few years, or for the first few months, I mean. And it does like pretty much all the electric vehicles, so there's not like any ones that are missing. But the one that stands out, obviously, is the Tesla Model S. That has year-to-date in March only, or from January to March, 6,100, and that tops the list. Next one is there's still about 4,000, 5,000 up there, but Tesla does still take the lead. The Chevy Volt is next after that. Toyota Prius, Tesla Model X, Nissan Leaf, and then the Chevy Bolt. And the Chevy Bolt and the Ford Fusion, I kind of wanted to touch base because their numbers are 3,000 and 2,000 respectively, 2,000 and 3,400 respectively. And that is, far away from the Model S. So I think the Model S is definitely, is here to stay. Nothing's going to take that away. Which is a good thing. I don't want to take, shine the light away from something.
So
else,
are these all electric? Or
correct. These are plug-in electric.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but like the Chevy Bolt is the Chevy Volt the one that is gas as well?
Correct. So some of them do take the gas. I think the Prius, the Prime does not, and then the Ford Fusion Energy takes gas. The Ford Fusion C-Max Energy takes gas. A few other of these take gas that stand out to me, but it's not between electric or all electric or hybrid. These are just plug-in vehicles.
I was just wondering because I saw a couple of those. Like the Chevy Volt is the electric gas hybrid, but the Chevy Bolt is the new EV, correct?
Yes, correct.
And that's all electric.
Yep.
We talked about that a couple months ago, but
yeah. So the Chevy Volt and the Tesla Model S are the two front runners right now, 6,000, 5,500 respectively. But I really wanted to touch base. I couldn't find any graphs for the battery life for the Model S, but the Chevy Volt I found some that showed the battery life over 5-year period, because they have been around for 5 years now, shows that the battery degradation is over 5 years is from 98 to 95%. So as far as how long that'll last, it shows better than the Prius, which was low or mid 80s, which was anywhere from 85 to 89%.
I believe the Tesla's in the high 80s as well.
Okay.
But that's also because there's more charge cycles that you will do in a Tesla Model S than you would in a Chevy Volt. You never actually fully discharge the battery or, go through a lot of charge cycles there.
Yeah, that could be it, but I think it was also they based it on the charge cycles. I could be not saying that right, but whatever.
So just looking at 2016's numbers here, they're on track. They're just a little shy of last year's numbers. But last year, the Tesla Model S was the highest selling in the U.S., at least, EV at 28,000 units, 2880 or 28.8 units sold, with the Volt behind it by about 4,000 units. Do you think that the tax season creates that spike in the March period? Because, that's among the higher period. Well, I guess September.
It could be a factor. I don't think it is. I think the factor there is getting the new year vehicles, because Tesla doesn't do the year of like how most car dealerships do. So when you buy a 2017 Ford, for example, they come out September of 2016 or around that time in the fall. With Tesla, they do it year to date. So when you get a 2017 Tesla, it is a 2017 Tesla.
So
but they don't have the years.
I just want to preface this, Drew, you are actually right with the tax thing. Tax rebates for EVs and hybrid cars are issued when you actually submit your taxes. So if you bought a car in that calendar year for the taxes there, a lot of people will do it before tax season, so then they can write that purchase off in their in March.
They wouldn't be able to do it for that year. They have to do it the following year.
There's something about that you can technically do it that year, because you paid state taxes on it.
Yeah, for 2000 whatever would be on the next year's taxes. So I don't think that's true.
Yeah, but then it's a current year deduction. So
I thought a lot of people do that.
I don't believe that's true. I would say
it was on TEV. That was the only reason why I was believing it.
Yeah, just because you don't do any taxes for 2017 for your 2016 taxes. The only thing you would do, you can pay them early if you think you're going to have more or less, but there's no taxes you need to pay for that.
I was just thinking that there's a spike in March because people would be
getting their refunds back.
Getting their refunds back, and that would be, hey, I've got this refund. Here's an incentive to go get a car, especially.
I think what we talked about before, how those people being a higher, I don't say higher caliber, but like trying to get a Tesla.
But additionally, I see if you look at 2016's, it's a quarterly thing. So the third month or the end of the quarter, you're seeing a huge spike in those numbers. So March, you got 3,900. June, you got 3,700. September, you got 4,300. And December, you got 5,800. And those are, the front running months, January, April, July, and October. July is the only one that breaks 1,000. October, April, and January are all under 1,000 units sold. So, there's got to be some sort of trend there.
If you scroll down, you can see the 2016 and 2015 similar vehicles. I definitely see a beginning of the year trend with March, but it happens every few months. Look at 2015. It goes 665s, 9, 11, 10.
It's more so a quarterly thing. I was thinking, at least for 2016 and 2015, you're your end of the quarter, you're getting you're peaking your highest number. So that may be a bonus thing, like, you know, a work bonus or something. I mean, I would assume that there's a general area where people are getting more money in the year than, you know, less money, but I get a quarterly bonus at my job. So, I mean, it would make sense depending on who's able to do it.
Actually, you're right, because I'm looking at the sales for 2016. If you look at the little graph they have there, and you're right, it goes up in March, up in June, up in July or September, up in December, and December is the best month for the past few years. But yeah, that's definitely pretty cool.
Analytics are good. I like them.
I don't think it has anything to do with tax stuff. Josh, you find anything on the internet?
Yeah, a lot of this is saying that's when the taxes reset, like the tax credits reset every March. So people will buy them in March to get last year's tax incentive on the vehicle, not next year's. Like, so if there's a possibility that like 2017 might not have a tax incentive on like a rebate on the car, then you buy it in March of 2017,
and you can still get 2016.
You still get 2016 credit for it.
Yeah. I understand that portion, but you'd still have to claim it on the following taxes.
Correct, but you'd still get you would get the tax deduction for it. Like,
so it cycles every April.
Was like, yeah, if he was like, no more tax credits on EVs starting today, you know, anybody who didn't buy a car before March 15th or April 15th, they're not going to be able to get the credits.
Yeah.
It is tax day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Technically past. It's the Monday after.
Yeah.
But it's actually till the 18th this year.
Yeah, tomorrow's tax day. Anyway, that's some interesting bits of information, sciencey kind of, you know, analytics, science news, you know. This month's section of the month, Andrew Heath from Andrew Heath Designs is I guess he spent his weekend parading around at a con. He spoke with us about last week when he was on the podcast. He is currently at the Indiana Comicon, and he is looking to, or I guess he was, or yeah, he's not currently there. It's Monday. He was there this past weekend, and we had a blast talking to him on the show. He had mentioned Indiana was one of his cons that he was going to be at, and then he will be at Planet Comicon, so we'll definitely run into him there. But yeah, go check out his Facebook, his Instagram, and his website, andrewheath.com, and then Andrew Heath Designs for both Instagram and Facebook. Additionally, last week's question of the week mentioned ads, and what a great time to bring that up right after plugging somebody. The last week's question of the week was, are ads tracking us too much? And we answered that on the podcast, kind of, I think, or did we? Did we answer that?
We did. We all had our opinions in the topic.
What we're going to do for this week's question of the week is we will do
a voting system.
Yeah. What font would you like for the t-shirts?
Question mark. So we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, what font would you want for sexy? What font would you want for nerdy? What font would you want for sciencey if we do go down that route? Seems like a plausible way we're going to go, but we'd rather have your input.
We can have literally 100 designs and still make, make all the shirts technically, as long as we make one. What do you think?
Cool. Again, we talked about at the beginning, we are going to Planet Comicon. Please check them out. Please buy your tickets sooner rather than later. I still think there's time to get the small discount instead of at the door prices. I think it's till the end of this weekend, I think. I'm not sure. But check it out. We'll have their stuff in the bottom. And then I think that's it, guys. Anybody
Yeah,
else?
so right now, admission is $65 plus taxes and fees. At the door, it's $85 for a 3-day weekend pass.
So you save $20 if you do it today.
Yes. Yeah. So get your tickets and come see us at booth 2224. Thank you for listening to Sexy Nerd Science. I'm Drew.
I'm Josh.
I'm Dale.
And we're coming to a town near you.
So long as it's Kansas City or Detroit.